went to recovery at Cornerstone. Josh filed for divorce. Josh and I are divorced and remarried. October 29th of this year, we'll be remarried for 2 years.
Amen.
But, so we went through a divorce. It was really bad, y'all, because I was a really foul person in my active addiction. Again, I had an affair. I was broken beyond repair, and I was truly just a lost little girl. I didn't feel like a woman, like a grown woman. I just felt like a very lost little girl. So recovery brought Jesus into my life. My husband doing the intervention was an answered prayer, and recovery saved my life. I went to Cornerstone, and I learned through my first 3 steps that I can't, he can, so I think I'll let him, and I have let him ever since. So Josh and I were going through, my testimony is also about my husband too. It's our story, it's our family. My testimony is my family's testimony, I feel like, too. Because, again, I was not a good mother to my children. My son had never knew me up until 3 years ago as a mother. And some of you got to experience him today, telling you guys that I was the best mom.
She's awesome, he said.
Yeah.
So that was more confirmation for me today, just to hear my sisters come up to me and say, you can't believe, like, just, he never knew what having a mom was like. And has strengthened my relationship with my daughter. She is my best friend. But at the time I had a best friend, her name was Amber. And on July 1st of 2017, Josh and I were divorced, but we were trying so hard to make it work because God had other plans for our relationship. And when Amber died, that was the day that I decided that Josh and I wouldn't be together no more. It was the day that I walked away from Josh. And that night, I packed my stuff and I left. And that night I got a phone call. And it was Erica. It was Amber's mother that she was killed in a car wreck. And I called Josh screaming, on my knees, screaming that Amber was gone. And Josh and I haven't spent a night apart since. We were engaged within 3 months after that, and we were remarried in October. So this is a full circle thing. Like, I hope this makes sense, because in my mind it makes sense. So this is my first time giving my testimony. Tomorrow, Amber's death brought us together. It brought her disciples. So I'm sorry. I'm getting squirrely. Let me just refocus. Sorry. So I'm sorry. Amber died July 1st. That's when Josh and that was the first time he showed me compassion since what I did, and I didn't deserve it. I felt like, but when she died, that was the first time that I felt his love again. The next day was Josh's first ride with Disciple Christian Motorcycle Club. The next day. I will have you girls know that tomorrow, I'm leaving late tonight, because tomorrow I'm taking her to Shreveport, Louisiana to see her best friend, who is Amber's little sister. For the first time since Amber died, I'm taking Lily, and I have to face Amber's death. Here I am giving my testimony for the very first time. Amber's death and Disciple Christian Motorcycle Club brought me here to all of you girls. My sisters, here's the thing. Josh has been in this club. This is the guys' club, but girls, without you, let me tell you that in recovery you have to go to meetings. You have to have a sponsor. You have to go to meetings. And I did that for 18 straight months. I did everything the way I was supposed to. And after that, Disciple came into my life. And there were some things in my recovery that weren't healthy for me. Like my sponsor and going to meetings were just not healthy for me anymore. But God put you ladies, all of you ladies, in my life, and you don't realize it, but y'all keep me sober. You girls are my sponsors. You're my accountability. You know, Jess, Cheryl's daughter-in-law, Jess, I have so, like, she's a walking miracle, guys. Jess is a walking miracle. She was only given, 6 weeks to live when her first diagnosis? Like,
no, it was 16% chance.
16% chance to live, and here we are well over a year. And she is still with us, and she is still kicking cancer's ass. I will have you know that today, she's still kicking its ass because the doctors don't know.
Right.
They don't know because it's Jesus. That's what I know. So, but I have a special place in my heart because my daddy died of cancer so quickly, and to see this miracle of life in Jess it feeds my soul. To see her life every day, like just through you, Cheryl, that is my recovery. Like that, Jesus, girls, like without Disciple, without being able to call Tara Jones. Tara Jones was the first sister I ever met, and she showed up after the first Warrior Run when my husband and my daughter were hit on a motorcycle, on a truck, on a motorcycle, not by a motorcycle. Okay, guys. And Tara Jones showed up at the hospital. She didn't leave that hospital until 3 a.m. She had a 2-hour drive, and she had to be at work at 5 a.m. So my thing is again, I have this great sadness, and I have this thing that I know, like, there is a theme of this weekend, and it's not good. It's a great sadness. Okay? Tara lost her dad. This is not a good week for her, between her marriage, renewal, or anniversary, thank you, anniversary of her marriage, her dad's death, Leanne, Danny, your friends that lost her baby. Here I am going to see, facing my grief. So we all, I feel like we all have this great sadness in our life. So one of the things that I want to do, I was talking to one of my sisters at the Warrior Run, and I feel like we should, whether it's one word, just one word, I want y'all to take a piece of paper. I have all the paper. If you have pens, I'll give you all the paper. Just put one word, whatever it is that triggers your great sadness, and I want to burn it. Because I want to release whatever great sadness, because God has released the great sadness in my life. You know, I intended to harm you, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is being done now, saving many lives. Like, I help girls in recovery. I volunteer and do hair for women in recovery because why not? We are sisters. You know, my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is my strength and my heart and my portion forever. My whole life is a but God story. And Disciple through my sisters, like, I can't, what James said blew me away with what he was saying, because yes, just, you know, my husband was told that he would never get the right to fly in Tennessee, y'all, but on Thursday, my husband, you don't understand,
Wednesday.
he knew. He just, he said, he didn't have to say a word because God already, but God went before him. Josh said 3 words and got the right to fly for East Tennessee and can wear his full patch.
Amen.
You know, that's, but God, you know, I took drugs. I wasted part of my life. But God knew that I would be here. God knew that I would be here, right now, for such a time as this, and I love Esther so much. Because sometimes the book of Esther is faith. It is, God is not mentioned once in that book, but he's all over it. And that's what this is about. That's what this faith is. It is just knowing. And that's what God has given me. So here's the thing. I prayed for scripture because I ordered bands. Like, I prayed and I prayed. I prayed for a starting point. I prayed for a scripture. I prayed for what clothes to wear today, girls. Okay? I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. So I have to tell you the story about how I got the scripture, which is, to me, is the most amazing thing, because I wasn't sure what I was supposed to say. I didn't know what God wanted me to give you, but He quickly told me to give you me.
Mm.
That's what He wanted. And the truth is, I didn't think y'all would, not against you, but I didn't think I was worthy of that. Josh and I went through a rough few weeks going through this testimony, and I was told a lot over and over again that I was not enough. That you are not enough. God can't use you. But on last Wednesday was a bad day. Josh was triggered. My anxiety was through the roof. I take Lily to Awana's and Josh to Awana's, and they are painting their Bibles, their journaling Bibles. They're painting the outside of their journaling Bibles. And at the end of church, Lily comes to me. She's upset because her Bible is the only Bible that has not dried. And she doesn't want to leave it because it's her journaling Bible. So I laid it in my car like this, in the back of my car, like this. So, as Jesus would have it, because He's amazing like this, the next day, I'm watching San Felipe's polo, and I felt God very clearly tap me on my shoulder. And now this is the relationship I have with my God. Because He was like, hey girl, I got your scripture, it's right there. So I jumped out of the car, and I opened the book, and it's Psalms 107, and the whole Psalms is my testimony. If you read the whole 10 Psalms, it's my testimony in song form. You know, first of all, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever. Here's the first thing I saw, though, when I opened up the book, y'all. I can't make this up. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There are butterflies, which is my thing. Monarch butterflies was my first tattoo with my mother. I have a very special connection with monarchs. Also with my grandmother. That's why I got the tattoo. There are 8 butterflies on this because I wear a patch for Jesus.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, so a confirmation that I was good enough. And that I am enough, and that I am redeemed. So let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. Those He redeemed from the hand of the foe. Those He gathered from the lands, from east and west, from north and south. Some wandered in the desert wastelands, finding no way to a city where they could settle. That was me. Wastelands. Bankrupt. I couldn't get out of my grief. They were hungry and thirsty, and their lives ebbed away. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and He led them by a straight way to a city where they could settle. Let them give thanks to the Lord for His unfailing love and His wonderful deeds for mankind, for He is satisfied the thirsty. He feels the hungry with good. My life is filled with things because I made the choice. Be a better mom to my beautiful baby. But girls, without you and this club, truly, this club changed my life. Just exactly what Jane said. It might be changing our men, but it changed my life. It changed my life. I can't do this life without you girls. Can't imagine. I can't. And I love all of you so much. I don't even know some of your names. I can't remember them, but I love you all. Truly. So, I just, again, there's redemption. And you know, that whole day again, that Thursday when God, if it weren't for that Thursday when He gave me the scripture, I probably would have flaked. I would have bailed out. But God confirmed over and over that day. He gave me this, I had a friend that come in and she had a praise, and as soon as she sat down, she said, "We are going to give thanks to the Lord." You know, I had a friend that I hadn't seen, San Filippo got on, she was talking about sugar skulls and monarchs, and I had a friend I hadn't seen in months. What does she show up that day with? A sugar skull planter for my shop. Just randomly. I got something for you. Just confirmation. What did my daughter talk about in English class that day? And who was the only child in class who knew what the word redemption meant? This one. Just confirmation after confirmation that this was what I was supposed to do. So I love you girls, and I just want you to remember that God, no matter what in your life, God will redeem. He will redeem you from the grave. He did me. I was bankrupt. I was dead. And I had nothing. And that's what He is. He is a redeemer. And that's all I got. I mean, you know, it's not all I got. I lied. I have plans for everybody, but I hope that made sense. I hope it does. It's a full circle to me. It's a full circle for me because Amber's death, disciple, recovery, and here I am, my testimony, seeing them for the first time, having to face death. Y'all, God brought us here together tonight for this. Like, we are all going through this together. Like, there's so much hurt and there's such a great sadness in here. Like, I just... It's a great sadness.
God bless him.
What I want to do is I will pass this book by, and if you want to just grab a sheet of paper out of it, if anybody has a pen, I've got the guy starting a fire. And, you know, if you got mom, dad issues, you know, death, whatever that great sadness, it could just be a key word. It doesn't have to be a story. Just, we're going to burn it. We're going to burn it. We're going to release it. Okay, so I'm just going to pass this bag around. These say "But God" with dragon mine with a semicolon. So when you remember,
That's literally what I've been
no matter
saying.
what comes in life,
No way.
God has you. And just keep going. With
But
God,
God.
but God.
Everything kept happening. I'm like, but God.
Keep going. Just keep going, Dory.
It's the theme.
Just take one and pass it around.
They said they couldn't hear anything. She said they couldn't hear anything. I know.
So, can somebody like close us out in prayer, please?
Alright, as you guys are passing around paper, I'm going to start praying and then I'll say amen, but if anybody else wants to pipe in, we'll take a hot